of the I-70 series. It is a beautiful night for baseball here in Kansas City. Last night, the Cardinals took game one 11-3. There is a lot of red here at the ballpark for the St. Louis Cardinals as they take on the Kansas City Royals. This series will move to Busch Stadium for two more starting tomorrow night. A look at the standings in the NL Central, and the Cardinals are just 3.5 games back of the Cubs. Milwaukee's in second, a game and a half back. On the other side, in the American League Central, people thought the Royals were done. Guess what? They're not. They're 3 games back of Cleveland, and oh, by the way, they're in a tie for the second wild card with Tampa Bay. And hello there, everybody. Justin Kutcher alongside Tom Verducci. So, Tom, these two teams right now have surprised a lot of people where they are. Guess what? They also have some players who have surprised a lot of people. How about the shortstop for St. Louis, Paul DeJong, who is the July National League Rookie of the Month?
Well, listen, it's the year of the home run, right? So let's talk about the home run leaders for each team. And back in spring training, if you had Paul DeJong as the leading home run hitter for the Cardinals, go buy your lottery ticket right now, please, because nobody saw this coming. 16 home runs in 59 games ties a franchise record of Albert Pujols. Speaking of records, how about Mike Moustakas? Career high 32 homers. That's third in the major leagues. And by the way, that's just 4 short of the franchise record held by Steve Balboni that's held up for 32 years. Maybe we shouldn't call these guys surprises anymore.
It's pretty remarkable what has happened with these teams, how they have fought their way back in it. A look at the lineup for Mike Matheny. Matt Carpenter will lead things off, followed by Tommy Pham. DeJong will bat third. Jose Martinez will DH and bat cleanup. Yadier Molina will catch and bat fifth. Dexter Fowler made his return from the DL last night. He'll play center. Jed Jerko at third base, bat seventh. Colton Wong, who homered last night, will bat eighth and play second. And Randall Grichuk will bat ninth and play right field. And they'll face the all-star left-hander Jason Vargas. On the season, 13-5, a 3.1 ERA. And he's not a hard-throwing lefty, but this guy is a pitcher.
Yeah, put the radar gun away, because with Jason Vargas, it's not about velocity. It's about the lack of velocity. Elite changeup, one of the best in all of baseball. In fact, only Alex Wood's changeup at the Dodgers is harder to hit. And you will see plenty of those changeups tonight.
And the defense behind Vargas in the outfield from left to right. Melky Cabrera will start in left field. Alex Gordon is getting a couple days off. Lorenzo Cain in center. Jorge Bonifacio in right. Around the horn in the infield, Cheslor Cuthbert just recalled from AAA today. Alcides Escobar at short. Whit Merrifield at second. Eric Hosmer at first. And behind the plate is Drew Butera, as Salvador Perez was placed on the DL yesterday. We are all set, and the first pitch is in there at 84 from Vargas. .79 degrees here in Kansas City. Carpenter's numbers: 249, 15 home runs, 53 RBIs.
Well, I mentioned the elite changeup. It's a question, is he hitting a wall? Last 5 starts, his ERA is near 7. That's something the Royals are concerned about. And beware, Tommy Pham.
Line drive into right field. Carpenter, he'll take a turn, stop at first. A leadoff single from Matt Carpenter.
5 for 5 lifetime against Jason Vargas. Talked about the changeup. Carpenter's right on it. Great balance. And the reason, Justin, I mentioned Tommy Pham, beware of him. I think he's actually the Cardinals' best hitter against changeups. You could not beat him inside with fastballs. And he is on changeups, slugging almost 700 against changeups.
So he starts him off with a breaking ball instead. Tommy Pham, speaking of surprises, 310, 14 home runs, 48 RBIs. He's playing so well, the Cardinals sent down Stephen Piscotty.
See that pitch there Vargas has to have. He has to establish four seam in to open up changeup away. But you watch where Pham stands on the plate with his hands. His hands are almost over the plate. He's inviting the ball in.
And it's too far inside. 2 balls and a strike.
Watch as Pham takes his stance here. He's a guy who likes to keep his hands away from him, and his hands are almost going to be over the plate.
To left field, Melky Cabrera going back in front of the warning track will make the catch, and back to first base goes Carpenter. It sounded like Pham may have broken the bat, and he still put it nearly to the warning track as we take a look at the key to the game, sponsored by Ford.
Well, let's see if you can pick up my clues here, Justin. For the Royals, I say hit it in the water, in those fountains. They're a home run hitting team. They're 28-13 when they hit multiple home runs. And for the Cardinals, don't open the gate, the bullpen gate. They want length out of Michael Wacha. Now you make of those clues what you will. Water and gate.
Okay, well, I thought you just gave away the clues because the water was the fountain, so I figured out what that was, but you told us what it was. But I was thinking the gate was like the arch, the gateway to the west. You fooled me.
You're just too young. Watergate. You know, on this date in 1974, Nixon resigned, and right here was a game going on at Kauffman Stadium, then known as Royal Stadium. They stopped the game while Nixon's resignation speech played on the scoreboard.
Really?
It wasn't a very long speech, but they literally stopped the game. The president resigned, and then went back to playing baseball.
Who won the game?
He was won by the Twins in 14 innings, 3-2.
No balls, 2 strikes to Paul DeYoung. And he waves at that breaking ball, so he goes down swinging, out number 2 here in the first.
Establishing curveball early. He's primarily fastball changeup pitcher. Perfectly located. You get two strikes, that curveball has to bounce. And a great job by Butera getting down early. You call 2-strike changeup, you anticipate ball and dirt.
2 away now for Jose Martinez, the DH. And the first pitch curveball. There's the changeup, so he starts him off with a curveball, then goes to a changeup, and he's ahead in the count 0-2. And Martinez, 289, 8 home runs, and 25 RBIs on the season.
But you just saw that last pitch. That's bread and butter right there. And remember, he can double up and triple up on that changeup.
He does double up on the changeup, left it up high though, and Martinez able to foul it back.
Yeah, I don't think he was too happy with himself on the location of that pitch. You know, it's interesting. We mentioned Drew Butera behind the plate. He's catching Jason Vargas for the first time in more than 2 years. Now, he does catch his bullpen sessions, but he told me he was going to have a long conversation with Jason today before the game about where he wants him to set up.
Goes inside with a fastball. So now you think he's setting himself up for either that changeup or we've seen the breaking ball so far in this first inning.
Some pitchers want a catcher to set up early. Some want them to set up late. Drew sets up early for Vargas.
He goes to that breaking ball in the dirt, 2-2.
And Vargas, in a course of, say, a normal start, will only throw about 19, 20 changeup or curveballs. And he's already showing a pretty heavy dosage early in the game here with the breaking ball. Back to the change.
Vargas trying to work around that leadoff single by Carpenter. And he does with that changeup. Back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning. Vargas goes to that changeup and he gets it. No score. The Royals coming up. Milwaukee as they'll face the lineup. Whit Merrifield will lead things off here for the Royals. Whit Merrifield's been very hot, followed by Lorenzo Cain and Eric Hosmer. Melky Cabrera will back cleanup. Mike Moustakas will DH. Jorge Bonifacio, Cheslor Cuthbert, Acides Escobar, and Drew Butera against Michael Wacha. And Wacha on the season, 8-4, a 3.66 ERA, but he has been on fire as of late. The first pitch fastball is down low. 36 walks, 110 strikeouts. That one complete game, a complete game shutout. And a broken bat here for Merrifield.
Well, key word with Michael Wacha, healthy. I call it a power boost. His average fastball velocity, the best of his career. Max velocity hit 99.3. That's best of his career. Downward plane. Very few pitchers create the downward angle Michael Wacha does with that high release point to the bottom of the strike zone on that four-seam fastball. Very unusual. His favorite month of the year. Here we are, Mr. August. Undefeated in his career in the month of August.
The 1-1 to Merrifield. Breaking ball. Popped up. Shallow left. DeYoung called off, and the catch is made by Pham, one away. Let's take a look at the defense behind Wacha in the outfield, left to right. We just saw Tommy Pham make the catch. Dexter Fowler patrols center field. Randall Grichuk in right. Around the horn in the infield, Matt Carpenter at first. Colton Wong at second. Paul DeYoung at short. Jed Jerko at third. And behind the plate is Yadier Molina. Now Lorenzo Cain, a great center fielder himself, batting .285, 12 home runs, 35 RBIs, digs in. He takes that first pitch fastball at 95 for a strike.
That was a great example of that downward plane. Hitters give up on that fastball, but it holds its plane at the bottom of the zone. Another one just missed.
Check swing, 1-2.
Whatever warm-up routine Michael Wacha has, you know, the other pitchers should copy that on St. Louis. Check that out. First inning, he owns it. And why is that really impressive? Guess what the most explosive inning is, the highest scoring inning in baseball? Inning number 1. The one time in the game where a manager can set his optimum lineup for scoring runs.
In the dirt, 3 balls and 2 strikes here to Cain with Eric Hosmer on deck.
Now this pitch may tell me a lot about how Michael's feeling. As I said, he's got good velocity recently. This should be challenge fastball down in the zone. Here it comes.
In the air to right field, Grichuk comes in a couple of steps, and they're 2 away here in the first.
Did you notice the velocity spiked up at 98? I'm telling you, the last 2 months, this has been a different Michael Wacha. To be able to have that extra gear now and to beat people in a fastball count 3-2 with your best bullet, that's a good sign continuing for St. Louis.
2 outs now for Hosmer. 315, 18 home runs, 61 RBIs. First pitch, ground ball to second. Colton Wong makes the play, and a quick 1-2-3 inning work by Michael Wacha. He threw just 10 pitches. No score at the end of 1. Jason Vargas, the 34-year-old first-time All-Star this year, faces Yadier Molina, the 8-time All-Star, and Molina taps one just foul as Butera tried to pick it up in fair territory to get an easy one pitch out. And the catchers share some pleasantries. Yadier Molina, 280, 12 home runs, 47 RBIs. How about this? He's got 7 stolen bases on him. Salvador Perez, the great catcher for the Royals, placed on the DL. How about that glove? That's a Gold Glove. Changeup is waved out and missed. You know he loves to catch when he's on the DL and he's got the glove on his hands.
Put me in, coach. Well, you can.
Honestly, I'm upset that we can't watch Molina and Salvador Perez in a game against each other. Those two catchers going at it. I just think it's fun to watch two great catchers. The way they command pitching staffs, the way they dictate the running games. Two just misses. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And Sal usually always has that smile on his face when he's behind the plate. Doesn't matter how many times he gets by foul balls, and he gets hit more than anybody because he's so big. Just love the joy in which he plays this game.
Called foul. We'll do it again at 3-2.
Remember, you have to cover both sides of the plate. Fastballs in, changeups away. He's already saw the changeup away.
Gets a changeup, diving stop by Escobar from his knee. Throws out Molina. Beautiful play by Alcides Escobar for the first out here in the second.
Well, first of all, a great stop. Almost like playing third base, a couple of steps and a dive. And that clock in the infielder's head, knowing Molina is running. Watch him set himself from his knees, gets the shoulders turned, and bouncing it worked just as well. Get it there to Eric Hosmer. Nice play.
A Gold Glover back in 2015. Flash of leather right there. Dexter Fowler takes the first pitch, breaking ball for a strike. Fowler, the switch hitter, 242, 14 home runs, 37 RBIs. 1-1. Fowler to left center field. That's in there for a base hit. Kane goes over. Fowler takes the turn. He's going to go for second, and he'll be in there. A 1-out double for Dexter Fowler just off the DL yesterday. And he's come out swinging.
There's that smile, high energy. That's what you get with Dexter Fowler. He's thinking, too, as soon as he's out of the box. I love the first couple of steps out of the box by Fowler right there. That's not an automatic double on Kane, but he gets there easily. You're right, Justin. Mike Matheny telling us, just amazed at how this guy can come off the DL like he hadn't missed a beat at all. He was on everything last night.
Jed Jerko swings and misses. 0-1. Jerko 273, 14 home runs, 52 RBIs. By the way, if you're wondering why is your screen blurry, that's actually smoke coming from a barbecue out here in Kansas City in center field. Yeah, that's right. Good food out here.
Especially barbecue.
Yeah. Get some barbecue, maybe have some watermelon for dessert, wash it down, even things out. 1-2 the count.
That's what happens when you have such a good changeup. You can throw 85 miles an hour past a very good fastball hitter. Jerko's power is on fastballs up, but sitting on changeup was late on 85.
Two balls and two strikes.
It's a nice block by Butera right there, keeping the runner off third with one out. Doesn't show up in the box score, but that's a big 90 feet saved.
Pop foul out of play. We'll do it again at 2-2.
You know, Justin, we talk so much about the gap in miles per hour between changeups and fastballs, and typically you'll see them 10, 15, sometimes 18 miles an hour. With Vargas, the gap is narrowed to about 5 or 6 miles per hour, but that's how good his changeup is.
Ground ball to third. Cuthbert checks Fowler back. The long throw across, able to get Jerko. Fowler has to hold at second, 2 away.
I mean, this is what I'm talking about. This is 79 miles an hour coming into Jerko, and it looks like a sinker coming in. Watch how far out front he is. When you see that top hand come off the bat, you know the batter's been fooled. That's a rollover ground ball, keeps the runner at second base. You know, that's something he told us he's learned from Felix Hernandez when they were teammates in Seattle. King Felix, another guy, not a big gap between changeup and fastball. Zach Greinke, another one. It's more the similarity in the pitches than the difference in velocity.
Colton Wong, a big swing and miss at that first pitch changeup. And that's one thing that maybe is different about Vargas than other lefties. He'll throw that changeup to a lefty.
Absolutely. Now he'll prefer it down and away, but as you saw there, it's so good he can aim over the middle of the plate and have it drop below the hitter's bat.
Pop up left field. Cabrera is there, and the 1-out double by Dexter Fowler goes for naught. He's stranded. We go to the bottom half of the second, no score. MLB on FS1 is sponsored by Budweiser, proudly brewed across America. This Bud's for you. And by the Hartford. When the unexpected strikes, the Hartford strikes back with small business insurance. Bottom half of the second, no score. 4, 5, 6 in the order for the Royals. Melky Cabrera against Michael Wacha. And he takes the first pitch breaking ball in there, first strike. Melky Cabrera, acquired in a trade from the White Sox. Switch hitter, gives this team some versatility, can play left or right. A switch hitter. 8 games since he's been back with the Royals. 9 for 29, a .310 batting average, a home run, 3 doubles. And Ned Yost told us the guys love having him back here in the clubhouse.
It's kind of a little bit of their Dexter Fowler, high energy guy.
And he looks at strike 3 on the inside corner. The first strikeout of the game for Michael Wacha. 1 away as we see Ned Yost in his 8th season as the Royals manager, just above 500 overall. But Mike Moustakas, the DH tonight, this is a guy who, Tom, this year he has been much more aggressive early in the count, especially first pitches.
7 home runs on first pitches this year. Be careful right here. Don't throw him a strike. Ooh, he did. That was the cutter. And that's been the biggest difference in the game. People say, you know, he's hitting more home runs. Is it a higher launch angle? No, it's more an aggressive mentality where what he's doing is not sitting on pitches. What he's doing is sitting on locations on first pitch and ambushing pitchers.
Fouls it back again, behind in the count 0-2.
You know, he told us when he first got here that the thought here in Kansas City was take a strike. And he'd be behind 0-1. He'd foul off a pitch. Now it's 0-2. And he learned, you know what? Maybe that first pitch is the best pitch I'm going to see. And he really turned it around this year.
"32 home runs. It's August 8th.
Now, when I talk about not sitting on a particular pitch, I want you to look at some of the home runs he's hit this year on first pitches. Changeup, yeah, that's because that's left up in the zone. Curveball, same thing. Again, he's not just sitting fastball. There's fastball away that he hooks out of the park. And watch, all these home runs are to the pull field. Changeup, curveball, fastball, slider.
And now he gets one, he pulls it foul.
So if you narrow to an area rather than a pitch, it makes hitting early in the count that much easier. Look at these numbers. The hits, at bats, home runs, RBIs, all career highs for Mike Moustakas on first pitches. So whatever the scouting reports were on Moustakas until this year, throw him away.
Rolls one over to second. Long from the outfield grass. 2 outs. And now Jorge Bonifacio getting the start in right field. Bonifacio. Takes the first pitch low and outside at 96. That was just blown right by him. 1 ball and 1 strike to Bonifacio.
You hear that phrase, carry through the zone. This is what it means. The ball is holding its plane, so the hitter's going to swing under it. Like that as well. And if you remember Michael Wacha when he busted onto the scene in 2013, had that great run and incredible postseason, more of a fastball changeup pitcher. Now curveball, cutter, higher velocity, more weapons like that.
Like that. 2 strikeouts in the inning. He's retired all 6 that he has faced. No score through 2. Top of the third, no score here in Kansas City. Royals and Cardinals. Randall Grichuk to face Jason Vargas. Vargas is now 9 for 9 in first pitch strikes. First time through the order. And he has gone to that curveball a lot the first time through the order. And by the way, I don't know if you realized the hesitation there. I did not want to do the announcer jinx. I hesitated just a bit to make sure. Didn't want to say he was 8 for 8 and then all of a sudden 8 for 9.
You believe in such things?
I do.
I got some numbers of some people I'll put you in touch with. We need to take care of that.
Grichuk 228, 13 home runs, 39 RBIs. In the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Randall Grichuk is somebody who his manager Mike Matheny thinks very highly of. He says, you cannot convince me that he is not going to be a superstar. He's got all the tools. Ground ball to short. Escobar waits on it. Shows off the arm, 1 away.
There's 2 things holding him back. Off speed, down and away, and fastballs up. Better plate discipline will make this guy an all-star. Curveball, that's a free strike to start out. Misses with the change. Another change. Now watch Jason upset with himself. He bounces that change up. And another change up out of the zone. You see it's out of the zone. That is Randall Grichuk. He's got thunder in his bat. But you are not going to make all-star teams by trying to hit pitches out of the zone.
Matt Carpenter led off the ball game with a single to right field. He takes the first pitch curveball for a strike. You know, I got to be honest, I love the game plan here by Vargas and Butera. You don't think as a Cardinal you're going to see a lot of curveballs? They're seeing a lot of curveballs early in this game.
It's a free strike. And give credit to Vargas because he's executing it. It's a free strike if you execute that in the zone. Very few hitters will go up there looking first pitch curveball off Vargas. And we'll see now second time around the Cardinals adjust.
He's angry at himself with that fastball. 2 balls and a strike.
Well, he's trying to figure out a way. How do I get this guy out? Hasn't succeeded yet. Carpenter's swinging a really good bat lately. Change up. Excellent pitch right there. You saw Butera. He can pretty much sit middle of the plate on changeup rather than move his whole body out there. I wouldn't be surprised if he doubles up on that changeup again. Hook ball.
Did he go? The appeal to third. He did not, says Mike Malinsky. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Now the count here to Carpenter.
I thought he held. He did. Umpires will look down the foul line. If that barrel crosses the foul line, then they'll ring up the hitter on a swing.
He went to the changeup, and guess what? He still has not retired Carpenter. He was 5 for 5 and now a walk, and that's the first walk of the game issued by Vargas. A 1-out walk to Carpenter brings up Tommy Pham, who I thought you brought up a great point, how he's really on top of the plate against a soft thrower in Vargas.
And normally when you see someone on the plate, you think, well, he wants the ball away. But no, the hitter invites the ball in. Great changeup. The hitter who's on the plate will invite the pitcher to come inside to try to beat you inside. Visually, the pitcher doesn't see a big area in there, and sometimes they make mistakes. Now, he did get the ball in off the plate first time up against Pham. Let's see if he goes back in right here.
It's the strike call to head in the count 0-2. We've got a chance to talk with Don Mattingly when we were down in Miami, and he said when he went up against a soft thrower like Jamie Moyer, he went close to the plate on purpose. He wanted that pitch in. He knew he couldn't get beaten in.
That was a fascinating discussion talking to. I mean, that's like, you know, sitting in a PhD class on hitting. It was amazing to hear Donnie talk about once he knew early in his career, first or second year, that he could not get beat inside by fastballs, he actually sat soft.
And Pham waves at the breaking ball. That's the 3rd strikeout of the game for Vargas. 2nd out here in the 3rd.
He's This has been a big pitch for him, the curveball. We've seen it used as a free strike. Now we see it used as a put-away pitch. Pham totally fooled late on that breaking ball. Boy, this is fun to watch these two pitchers go at it. Michael Wacha just throwing high octane, and Vargas with that old leaded variety.
Ground ball in the hole. Escobar couldn't make the play. It looked like it hit off his glove as he was trying to make the jump throw a little bit too early to second base to get Carpenter.
No, it's just a little too careless here. He's got to get down to this ball. Give me a better effort with the lower body. Get lower to the baseball. You see that? I think he had a forced play at second base to turn around rather than go to first base. But in any case, to give yourself any opportunity, you got to get down on that ball.
A base hit for Paul DeJong. So first and second, 2 outs here in the third for Jose Martinez. We saw a sparkling play by Escobar to open up the second, taking a hit away from Yadier Molina. And now unable to get that ball in the hole with DeJong. First pitch breaking ball misses for a ball. That's the first pitch, not a strike in the ball game for Jason Vargas. And he's behind in the count, 2-0.
I love watching this guy hit. He's like a wind-up toy. All these moving parts, the bat's waggling. Watch his feet as he gets set. But the real key for Martinez, looks like he's got so much going on, right? But as soon as he lifts his leg, the hands stop and the head stops. Looks very active here. But as soon as that leg comes up, he's in great hitting position.
By the way, how about that pitch right there? 2-0, changeup.
It's like a fastball to Jason Vargas. He can throw it anytime. His nickname here is the Doctor because he's so clinical with his pitches.
Breaking ball lined to Escobar, who's able to make the catch and get out of the way at the same time. And yeah, everybody should smile. Chesler, Cuthbert, Alcides Escobar, Drew Butera, to face Michael Wacha here in the third. Scoreless game. And the first pitch fastball just poured in there at 95. Cuthbert in 33 games this year, 196, a home run, 10 RBIs. It's an inside, 1-1. Cuthbert did a really nice job last year filling in for the injured Mike Moustakas at third base. And off the end of the bat to left field, the first base hit of the game for the Royals. The first base runner of the game for the Royals, and just up from AAA, and Cheslor Cuthbert gets a hit.
That's a cutter left up. Really didn't have a lot of bite on it. Designed to get weak contact. It's off the end of the bat, but nice job by Cuthbert.
Leadoff man on now for Alcides Escobar. 223, 3 home runs, 37 RBIs. Maybe still taking that deep breath after catching the ball to end the inning off the bat of Jose Martinez. You know it's hit hard when the player says, wow, walking off the field.
Taking a long look at the third base coach to see if they want some action on this pitch.
That's so cool. I mean, he caught the ball, took a few steps into the outfield, and then was running in. And he realizes how hard that ball was hit. That's also one where you're hoping you catch it in the web and not in the palm. Check on the runner at first.
Royals are one of the few teams that still believe in the hit and run play. Wacha is checking the runner at first. There's so much swing and miss in the game that it's kind of gone out of favor, but Kansas City plays a contact game. That was a really good look at that carry through the zone of Michael Wacha. Almost a hitter's viewpoint where you give up on that pitch thinking it's going to continue down out of the strike zone, and it just stays on plane right at the knee. That's bread and butter for Michael Wacha.
Good job by Escobar just to spoil that pitch. Stays alive at 1-2.
Well, chances are he's not going to take it. Michael Wacha knows that. He can throw just about any pitch, but just make sure it's out of the strike zone to get a chase from Escobar. Back to the curveball.
Ground ball could be 2. There's 1, and there's 2. 6-4-3 double play turned by the Cardinals.
It's just classic sequential pitching by Michael Wacha. Established fastball, and then goes soft. You see how far Escobar was out in front, just trying to protect. Hyper aggressive hitter. He's going to chase. Get an easy ground ball double play.
Paul DeJong and Colton Wong combining for that one as Drew Butera steps to the plate. We'll see the bulk of the time at the catching position now with Salvador Perez on the DL. He's played in 46 games this year. Just missing, 1-1.
Drew was fortunate enough to be behind the plate for the last out of the 2015 World Series. come out of the game, I believe, for a pinch runner. So all those shots that will live in posterity. Drew Butera running out there. Wade Davis.
Ground ball back up the middle, and Drew Butera out of the 9-hole has himself a 2-out single.
Choke up on the bat, shorten up, play a small man's game, right back through the box. And you see that delivery Michael Wacha has, which carries him to the first base side, not in position to be an infielder after releasing.
Two outs, back to the top of the order now for Whit Merrifield. One outside for ball one. Whit Merrifield, since July 1st, has been on a tear. He's one of those guys who historically you thought you'd be able to keep him out of the lineup, but you just can't. He just somehow finds a way to get in the lineup and stays and produces for you.
Does a lot of things well, can play multiple positions.
Pops this one up in the infield. Jerko from third base coming in. And that will do it here in the third. Molina, Fowler, and Jerko due up in the fourth.
Higher leg kick with a lot more power. But if you have runners on base, he'll tamp down the leg kick and becomes much more of a contact hitter. Right now, for the second time, he's leading off nobody on base. This is where he swings for extra bases with a higher leg kick. The batting average goes down here, but the slugging percentage goes up.
Like that, on cue, Molina with a home run. Sometimes it's just TV magic. Number 13 on the season for Yadier Molina, and it's 1-0 Cardinals.
I just love this approach, and I've seen Adrian Gonzalez do the same thing. The theory is with nobody on base, these guys are so slow, a single doesn't help because it'll take 2 more hits, maybe 3, to get home. So your swing for extra bases with the bases empty, it's a much more powerful swing. A bigger leg kick actually goes up to his waist and a lot more power generated. That's why he hits so many solo home runs. People want to knock him for that. It's all about his approach. Very smart hitter.
Fowler off the end of the bat. No balls and 2 strikes to him. Fowler doubled his first time up. Fowler to left field. Melky Cabrera coming in. 1 away. Well, Saturday, Aaron Judge looks to continue his incredible rookie season as he leads the Yankee attack against Mookie Betts and the Red Sox. Major League Baseball, Saturday, 3:30 Eastern, right here on FS1. The Yankees entering tonight trail the Red Sox by 3 games in the American League East. Aaron Judge certainly has cooled off since his incredible start. Jed Jerko takes the first pitch for a ball. One ball and 1 strike. Here are the standings in the East. The Tampa Bay Rays in playoff contention, battling it out for the second wild card, even the first wild card, really, as the Yankees had the lead in that first wild card.
You know, Justin, you really can't shortchange the learning curve in baseball, the power and the value of repetitions, of plate appearances. We talked about Mike Moustakas, adjustments he's making 6 years in. The ability of Yadi Molina to have 2 different approaches at the plate, not something he would have done early in his career. And now we're seeing Aaron Judge going through his first full major league season, getting adjusted to by pitchers who are expanding the zone vertically against him. See Vargas miss up with the changeup again. Aaron Judge has to realize that walks are good results, because right now pitchers are beating him out of the strike zone with velocity up and off-speed pitches down, stretching the strike zone vertically. He's got to make them come back into the zone. It's what you go through as a young player. It's easy to say, get them back in the zone. But again, the power of experience, of repetition. Just ask Dr. Yadier Molina, doctor of hitting.
And now they've got Jerko in a rundown. Hosmer to Merrifield, and Merrifield will race down Jerko. The advantage of having a lefty on the mound.
Yeah, this has happened way too many times in St. Louis this season. He's going first move right here. I'm not sure why. And good call. Could have been called from the bench for Kansas City to throw over. That erases a mistake with the walk.
1-3-6-3-4. And Wong, he offered on that one. So 2 outs now here in the 4th.
I'm not a big fan of the two out bunt right there by Wong. A guy who does have extra base power, went deep last night.
Colton Wong, the home run numbers are down, just 2 on the season. Does have 19 doubles and 2 triples. Pulls one foul to the seats down the right field line. But his batting average, .296 entering tonight. Ground ball, second base. Merrifield gobbles it up, and that'll do it. But Yadier Molina leading off with a leg kick and the solo shot. 1-0 Cardinals. Home run, and the Big Three continues as basketball's greatest legends take it to the court in L.A. Steven Jackson, Mike Bibby, Al Harrington, and Rashard Lewis keep the action going in a 3-on-3 battle for the championship. The Big Three is changing the game Monday night at 8 Eastern on FS1. 2-3-4 in the order for the Royals. Lorenzo Cain against Michael Wacha. And the first pitch fastball is down low for ball one. Cain flew out to right his first time up. Justin Kutcher alongside Tom Verducci here from Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. Beautiful night for baseball. 79 degrees at game time. A great crowd on hand for this I-70 series. The Cardinals won last night 11-3. They've won 3 straight ball games. And they're at 500 for the first time since June 2nd. 2-1 to Lorenzo Cain. Cain to right field. Randall Grichuk over to his right. One away. Time for a game break. Let's go back to LA and check in with Kevin Burkhardt. All right, KB, obviously that's of great importance, especially for this Royals team, as they trail the Indians by 3 games entering tonight in the American League Central. And Michael Brantley, his return after missing virtually all of last year, it seems like he returned without missing a beat.
One of the best pure swings in baseball. Really important part of that team. Great hitter with runners on base. That's a tough stretch right now for Cleveland. Andrew Miller on the DL. They've just a killer schedule this month. Every series but one against teams in playoff position. Gives Kansas City Royals fans hopes of running down the Indians.
Hosmer, that big swing and a miss. 1-2.
And he loves that pitch. He's a much better hitter to left field than he is to right field. If I'm a pitcher, I want to make him pull the ball.
Walker misses outside.
Now we've seen Jason Vargas throw a lot of changeups in hitters' counts. I'd like to see Wacha get back to that fastball here in on Hosmer.
Curveball. Fastball goes breaking ball, yeah.
Well, we've seen him stick with 3-2 fastballs. Here's the 2-2 breaking ball.
I'll say this, Hosmer didn't cut down on his swing with 2 strikes.
You saw Yachty first went to cutter in, then back to breaking ball, the curveball. Wacha shook both. Fastball in. He's thinking like me. Missed.
All right, so 3-2. You said he's been going 3-2 fastball. Is that what you come back with?
Yeah, I would. I would stay in there. You know, just because he missed with that pitch, I still think that's the right pitch. And you saw Wacha pretty much shake through the Rolodex to get what he wanted. Back to the same thing.
And he misses inside for a walk. The first walk of the game issued by Wacha.
Yeah, I don't fault him. It's just execution, not theory. There's the fastball to start out with. Again, missing. That's cutter right there. Fastball up at 97. Now he's going to go softer. Change up, breaking ball. Now, what do I put him away with? I'm going to go velocity in. Misses twice. You've seen Michael Wacha dial it up to that high octane 98. When it's time to put a hit away, he just missed location.
Here's Melky Cabrera, the switch hitter. Struck out looking his first time up.
Yeah, this is a good timeout here. I'm not a big fan of timeouts. But right now, Michael Wacha has lost that release point on his fastball. It's a very unusual release point.
You know, you say you're not a fan of timeouts, and we've talked off the air. You'd love to see a limit to number of timeouts.
Yeah.
How do you limit the number of times the catcher goes out.
You get 1 per inning. It's the only sport where there's no limit on timeouts. You can call timeout whenever you want, as many times as you want, for whatever reason that you want. It's crazy. It's gotten out of hand with the visits to the mound.
So it's 1 per inning by the catcher. How about
Yes.
the first baseman, second baseman?
Nope. 1 per inning. It's not a committee, it's a baseball team.
Melky off the end of the bat into center field. Coming in is Fowler. That'll drop. Hosmer's going to go for third, and he's going to get in there. What a read on that ball by Eric Hosmer.
Well, you're 100% right, Justin. He's the owner of one of the greatest base running plays in World Series history. Watch him read this ball, read, and then when he makes a decision, that ball's in, he's gone. Doesn't have to look anymore. Tremendous base running by a great base runner. Eric Hosmer, Paul Goldschmidt, probably the 2 best base running first basemen in all of baseball. Don't normally talk about first basemen being great base runners. He's one of them.
And now runners on the corners from Moustakas. We talked about his first pitch swinging this year. Does he come up looking for a first pitch right now? That looked almost to be like a modified pitch out.
Well, it wasn't because
DeYoung was moving towards the bag at second. They were looking at Melky.
Well, because Melky bluffed going for first base. That was a changeup. He has not had a good changeup today. It's the one pitch that's probably been below par so far. But Melky had the infielders moving by bluffing his start. There's a good one.
Chases the changeup, 1-1.
Yeah, when he gets on the side of the baseball, pronates, there you see the pronation of the hand, which means the ball is now tailing away from Moustakas, almost like throwing a football spiral.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runners on the corners, 1-0. Cardinals lead here, bottom half of the 4th.
Check out Melky here.
Just missing with that fastball, 2-1.
If you want to stay out of the double play, you can start Cabrera here. Of course, Moustakas is in fly ball mode right now. Get something that he can lift.
Two balls and 2 strikes.
And thus the pretty heavy diet of changeups here, trying to get the rollover ground ball to second base. Your other option now is to elevate fastball out of the zone. The guy who's looking for a ball up, go higher than high and get the swing and miss or the strikeout. Exactly. Fastball up.
Check swing, back to the screen, stays 2-2.
Boy, wouldn't it be great to be a pitcher with Yadi Molina behind the plate? I mean, you talk about flying on automatic pilot. You're like a bobblehead out there. You never shake your head side to side. It's just up and down. Yes, sir. Do it again.
Pop up. DeYoung out there on the outfield grass, makes the catch. And the runners have to retreat.
That tells you how good that downward plane four-seamer is, because that was not where Yadi wanted it, but he still beats Mike Moustakas. Huge out right there.
Two away now for Jorge Bonifacio. Runners on the corners in a 1-run game. Bonifacio struck out to end the second. Michael Wacha, his last 7 starts, 5-1, a 1.9 ERA entering tonight. And he's ahead in the count, 0-1. You mentioned it's nice to have Yadier Molina behind the plate. It's also nice to be able to dial it up to 98 with a ball that just bores in on a hitter.
I'm telling you, this is the best velo we've seen out of Michael Wacha in his career.
You mentioned it earlier. Mike Matheny has said it. Wacha has said it. He's healthy. He feels good. He's able to get his arm in the position he needs it to be in. Just handcuffs Bonifacio right there. 1-2.
High, higher, and here comes highest. Right? Might as well keep climbing that ladder. Bonifacio sees it, eye level, looks good to him. But not with that carry through the zone we've talked about. Yeah, a little higher.
There goes Cabrera from first.
Yeah, what makes Wacha, besides velocity, so difficult as a hitter, the ball's coming from a place hitters don't normally see it come from. Check this out. Four-seam fastball release point, the highest in baseball. Marco Estrada, he's like 12 o'clock on a clock, right? Straight over the top. Wacha's pretty close to straight over the top. He's 6'6" to start out with, so you're seeing a ball come from a position that you're not used to seeing it. And it's actually not his natural release point, which shocked me when I asked him about that.
Runner goes again, no throwdown. Did you see Melky actually stopped? He wanted a throw.
Yeah, well, he's trying to bait a throw to get Hosmer home from third, but the middle infielders weren't even covering the bag. Given on the base, hold your positions. Two
Watch
strikes,
this.
2 outs on the batter. This is going back to Little League. I asked Wacha about that release point. He said in high school, he was normal high 3/4. He got to college at Texas A&M, and the coach said, "You're 6'6", create an angle." And that's where he developed that way to throw over the top. Yadi's going to go out there and say, listen, when I want the ball up, I mean up, because he's missing in the zone with these fastballs Yadi's calling up.
I'm sorry, that's the second timeout called. That was not allowed.
That's right.
Under the new Tom Verducci rules of baseball.
15-yard penalty.
25
You'd have to come up, by the way, with a penalty, right? If there is a rule, you break the rule. I guess. Make it a ball, right?
25 pitches this inning here for Wacha. Second and third, 2 outs.
All right, now it's time to go somewhere else. Yadi finally got that fastball above the strike zone, and Bonifacio said, nope. Now again, 3-2. I don't care if this is base open. To me, this is four-seamer down at the knees away.
Carpenter is way off the line at first base. He goes breaking ball. The appeal to first base. He did not go, says Mike Winters. And that's a heck of an at-bat by Jorge Bonifacio. And that will bring out the pitching coach, Derek Lilliquist, as the bases are now loaded with 2 outs here in the 4th inning.
Watch Yadi. He thinks this is strike 3. He tried to sell it, not only by the frame job, but got right up out of that crouch. He was ready to walk off the field.
An 8-pitch walk earned by Jorge Bonifacio. I had a game earlier this year where Yadier Molina actually did just that. He bought the call. It was 3-2, bases loaded against the Nationals. And when the pitch was thrown, it was borderline, and he pumped his fist. And next thing you know, strike 3 was called.
He carries a lot of influence behind that plate, not only with pitchers, but with umpires. You saw the graphic there on Wacha. This has been his kryptonite. Getting that 3rd out in an inning.
Chesler Cuthbert to left field. That's trouble down the line, off the wall. They're going to wave around Bonifacio. Here comes the throw, not in time. 3-run double. Cheslor Cuthbert, welcome back.
This is Royals baseball. There's no team in the major leagues that swings at more fastballs and strikes in the zone than the Royals. They do not concede strikes. What they also do is run the bases so well. Great job by Bonifacio on the trail end of this bases clearing double. Go ahead, smile.
He's 2 for 2 now, a single, a double, 3 RBIs. And his team now leads 3-1 here in the 4th. He likes hitting with the bases loaded. 4 for 6 this year. And that was the first pitch he saw after that long at bat by Jorge Bonifacio. To right field, Grichuk is there. That will end it. But Cheslor Cuthbert comes through in the clutch for the Royals. The base is clearing, 3-run double. 3-1 KC. Ford, we're going further so you can. We move to the top of the 5th here in Kansas City. Now 3-1. Royals leading the Cardinals thanks to that 3-run double by Cuthbert. And it's Randall Grichuk taking the first pitch changeup for a ball. Grichuk grounded out to shortstop his first time up. Grichuk to left field. Cabrera turns, looks, gone. 3-2 ball game. 14th homer of the year for Randall Grichuk.
Doubled up on the changeup. That one stayed in the zone. You know, I've been watching Drew Gutierrez setting up on Vargas. First time catching him in more than 2 years. Vargas's changeup is so good, Gutierrez can set up middle of the plate, which you don't see a lot with changeups. The problem is this one does not sink below the zone. Now his changeup is good enough that he can aim middle and have it dive below the zone. That's the downside, Justin, when you aim middle and you don't get it below the zone.
There's that power we were talking about for Randall Grichuk. As Carpenter is ahead in the count, 1-0, and now he takes one on the back. So a couple of walks, now a hit batter here for Vargas.
And we've seen him a few times lose that changeup up to arm side. I was talking to Dave Island, the pitching coach. Remember, we began the night by talking about his is Vargas possibly hitting a wall here? And the key for Dave Island is when he does lose that ball to arm side up. Usually means he's flying open a little bit, but mostly it's on the fastball, not the changeup. Keep an eye on that.
By the way, he still hasn't retired Carpenter.
Maybe that's why he hit him.
First pitch ball to Tommy Pham, who struck out his last time up, is also flown out to left field. Foul tipped, 1-1. And the dirt gets away from Butera. Down to second base goes Carpenter. Wild pitch, charge to Vargas.
That's a tough pitch to block. The curveball in the dirt. It's going to bounce opposite the direction of the spin. Butera's in position to block. Very good position. But just the spin of the bounce opposite to the spin of the pitch moves the ball away from him.
Off the end of the bat, this is trouble. Butera, he's going to eat it. Infield single for Pham. Down to third goes Carpenter. And the Cardinals have something going here in the fifth. The swinging bunt by Tommy Pham.
You called it early. This was trouble. Changeup designed to get weak contact. It's actually too weak. No chance to get Pham, who runs extremely well. Was better off letting that ball continue to roll.
So after a leadoff home run by the 9-hole hitter in Randall Grichuk, a hit batter to Carpenter, a wild pitch, now an infield single by Pham. It's first and third, nobody out, 1-run ball game, and Paul DeJong at the plate, who singled his last time up. Throw over to first base. Pham certainly can run 15 of 20 in stolen bases on the year.
It's also designed to get the bullpen a little time to get loose. Pitch coach Dave Island also had gone out to the mound. Yep, killed a little bit of time. Got to be very careful with DeJong. Boy, does he have pop in his bat, especially on balls middle in.
In the dirt now, Pham will advance to second base. Another wild pitch here. We saw Mike Minor warming up in the bullpen.
Well, don't forget, when we bring up Vargas possibly hitting a wall this time of year, this is a guy who's coming off Tommy John surgery last year. He made it back in just 13 months. Made 3 starts at the end of last season, now faced with the length of this season.
Off the end of the bat, Vargas checks the runner back to third. Carpenter gets the out. Timeout called here by Hosmer. They'll get that ball out of play. They get 1 out.
So they've been watching him very closely. Has not been pitching deep into games lately. They've cut back on his bullpen sessions. They're essentially glorified games of catch rather than full-scale sessions at this time of year, which a lot of veteran pitchers will do. But I think especially at this point in the game, as the lineup turns around the third time, you watch Vargas a little more carefully than you would have in the first half of the season.
Martinez lined out to short his last time up. Takes the first pitch changeup for a ball. Struck out his first time up. That line out last time was that play by Escobar at short when he ran in saying, wow, it was hit so hard to him. Now 2 balls and no strikes. Remember, Vargas opened this ball game with 12 consecutive first pitch strikes. He's now thrown 5 straight first pitch balls. 2-1.
And Justin, if you ask me, the absolute key for Jason Vargas, it's pitching ahead. Because he doesn't have that premium fastball, he's in trouble pitching from behind. Now, he can still throw his changeup pitching from behind, but he loses his margin of error. It's not big to begin with. It really shrinks when he's behind hitters.
Carpenter at third was hit by a pitch. Vargas thought that was a strike, didn't like the call.
Yeah, I can't blame him. Now, this to me live looked like a strike. Gutierrez set up in. Is it up? That's close. Looked like it got played on Fox Tracks. Especially when you're in trouble. That's a huge pitch that you want.
Ryan Blakeney, the home plate umpire. Got some words from Jason Vargas. 3 balls and 1 strike now to Jose Martinez. He goes to the breaking ball, and that will load the bases. And you wonder if that's going to be it for Vargas.
It's a tough call for Ned Yost right here. The guy he's been riding most of the year, been very reliable. He's not the same pitcher he was in the first half of the season. Now, he does have a double play candidate at the plate in Yadi Molina. That's the one thing with Vargas, with that changeup and even the curveball tonight. He can be 1 pitch away from getting out of it. Could also be 1 pitch away from being behind in this game.
Molina homered his last time up, leading off the 4th. Ground ball off the bag at third, into left field. 2 runs will score. The throw to third, and they've got Martinez out there. It's a 2-run single for Yadier Molina. And Martinez is out at third base for the 2nd out of the inning. But the Cardinals have retaken the lead.
Well, he got the ground ball, he got the rollover ground ball, but the third base bag is Yadi Molina's friend. And that's just not a good decision by Martinez, getting punched out at third base for the 2nd out. That plays in front of him. You don't need a coach. You're your own coach in that situation. Bad decision.
Three RBIs on the night now for Yadier Molina. And Dexter Fowler at the plate. Flew out to left field his last time up, doubled his first time up.
And remember what we talked about with the 2 Molinas. And not Yadi and Benji, by the way. Yadi and Yadi. Bases empty, Yadi, go yard. Put runners out there, contact hitter. 2-run single. Professional hitter.
Change up, misses high and outside, 2-0.
Yeah, Vargas is in red line danger zone right here.
They're just trying to get him through the 5th inning.
Yeah, be careful. That tank is on E.
Back the change up on 2-0. 2 balls and 1 strike. Back to the Royals, got 3 in the bottom half of the 4th. The Cardinals have come back here, and it's misplayed in right field by Bonifacio. Goes over his head. They're going to hold Molina up at third base. An opposite field double for Dexter Fowler. Jorge Bonifacio came in and then went back on the ball.
Yeah, he did. Whatever chance he had of catching that, lost on the initial reaction, the step in on the swing, and there it's the oh my goodness moment, or something like that. I cleaned it up a little bit. But this is too late for me. This was a guy running on fumes deep in the season. You saw trouble coming, and it arrived on that double by Dexter Fowler.
Vargas's night is done. Mike Minor's coming in with runners on 2nd and 3rd. third. The Cardinals now lead the Royals 4-3. Vargas, his night is done after 4 2/3. He's hoping the damage is done as well, hoping Mike Minor can do the job here, as he'll face Jed Jerko. Jerko 0 for 1, walked his last time up, then was picked off. He's also grounded out.
Well, Minor's a guy who can give you some length, repertoire really of a starting pitcher. Fastball, cutter, breaking ball. Not overpowering.
Got it up to 94 right there. 2 balls and 1 strike. Cardinals have won 3 in a row, trying to get to 1 game over 500. Two and 2. It's a big spot in the ball game right now. Can you limit the damage? Can you keep it a 1-run game? Molina at third, Fowler at second. Good speed as a trail runner. With 2 outs, you got to think a single would get 2 runs in. 2-2 deep to left field. 3-run home run for Jerko. The big spot in the game just went the way for the Cardinals.
Jed Jerko, one of the best elevated fastball hitters in baseball. Cutter to start, cutter in the strike zone. Shows velocity up. That's just a chase pitch there. He's going to stay with velocity here. All of them up. I don't get it. Most of Jed Jerko's home runs come on pitches just like that, both sides of the plate. But velocity upstairs, he destroys.
15th home run of the year for Jerko. 6 runs in the inning for the Cardinals. And the 9th batter of the inning, and Colton Wong coming to the plate. It was 11-3 last night. Cardinals with the victory. Now it's 7-3 here.
Oh, they are swinging it, aren't they? 31 runs in the last 3 games. We're still in the 5th inning right here.
Breaking ball falls in for a strike. 1-2. Long to left field. Cabrera looking, and this one is foul.
That was close. Cardinals are taking a look right now. See if that was a paint scraper. Check that baseball, see if it's got any yellow on it. Wow, that's foul.
Well, those 2 runs. Those 2 men on base were charged to Vargas, so he goes 4 2/3, gives up 6 runs. Backhand play in the hole by Escobar. Low throw, dug out, not in time, as Wong beats it out for an infield single. And now Ned Yo says, hang on, let me take a look.
That's just speed right there. Wong getting down the line. Escobar makes a nice play. I like the bounce throw. Hosmer is good as anybody at picking the ball. Wong beats that. can smell a hit. Nothing will make it a run. And when you smell a hit.
Well, they've batted around here in the 5th. Randall Grichuk got it all started with that home run off of Jason Vargas. At that point, it was a 3-2 ball game. The Cardinals have erupted for 6 in the inning. Jam shot to center field. Lorenzo Cain is there, and that will end it. But damage is done. Grichuk led off the inning with a home run, but the big blow was the Jerko 3-run shot. Hits in the 5th inning for the Cardinals after 3 runs in the 4th by the Royals. Randall Grichuk with a solo shot. Jed Jerko with a huge 3-run home run. And now Michael Wacha pitches with a 7-3 lead, and he'll face Drew Butera. First pitch strike.
You know, sometimes you're driving down the highway, everything seems fine, and then that check engine light comes on. To me, the pitch to Grichuk was the check engine light coming on with Vargas. It was really the first time in the game I saw him miss changeup in the strike zone. We see miss changeups the arm side away, or certainly bounce them, which is where you want to miss. But the pitch to Grichuk, the second changeup of 2 changeups in a row in the strike zone, hit out.
Butera goes down swinging for out number 1. Time for a game break. Let's go back to LA and check in with KB. That is big news as Whit Merrifield goes the opposite way for a base hit with 1 out here in the 5th. Because, Tom, you think about the American League West, and Houston is going to win the AL West. They didn't make a move at the trade deadline for a starting pitcher. When you think about what's going to happen come postseason time, Dallas Keuchel is their ace. After that, Lance McCullers Jr. I mean, what do you really have? They've got to make a move, no?
That's why there's some discussion about Justin Verlander. But we have to remember, when we see players come off the disabled list, just because they're back on the field doesn't mean they're 100% back physically. And I think that's the case with Dallas Keuchel. And that would concern me if I'm the Houston Astros, because I go nowhere unless I have my ace taking me through October. Because as you mentioned, there's not a lot of certainties behind him. Certainly good stuff in the colors. Charlie Morton, able to spin a baseball as well as anybody. But certainties, you don't have them. And if Keuchel is not a certainty, that'll make you worry. That'll keep you up at night in Houston.
To have as great of a regular season as they've had, to not make a move. Fouled straight back by Kane. 0-2. You don't want this whole season to go for naught. And that lineup is just nasty.
That's tremendous. Their bench players are great. They're probably, with the Dodgers, the deepest team, the way they can roll you no matter where they are in the lineup, including the bench.
No balls, 2 strikes. The count here to Lorenzo Cain.
Boy, you might have noticed, Yachty, I just love watching him behind the plate. Hold his hand in his glove, reminding Waka to vary your times to the plate. Hold the ball a little longer. That's part of controlling the running game. We talk about his ability to throw, but remind the pitcher, hold the ball, vary your times.
Asking for a fastball up. Gets it up and in. If you're Walker right now, your team just put up a 6 spot for you. You'd like a quick, efficient inning. He threw 30 pitches in the 4th. Breaking ball pulled, foul.
Lorenzo Cain. There's nobody who backlegs a ball more than Lorenzo Cain. Ian Kinsler is close to him, but the way he stays on that backside through these swings, it's a unique swing. I mean, listen, it's not an oil painting of a swing. It gets the job done.
I see a lot of Torrey Hunter in this swing.
Yeah, Torrey was more balanced, though. I'm telling you, I don't see anybody who stays on the backside as long as he does. It's funny, when he was traded here from Milwaukee, the Royals hitting coaches here used to say he was one of the worst batting practice hitters you'd ever see. Everybody crushes the ball in batting practice, right? Not Lo Cain. Even to this day, he's not such a great BP hitter.
He waves at that one, the cutter. Second strikeout of the inning. 4th of the game. Saturday on FS1, watch as the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series heats up in the Irish Hills of Michigan. Saturday at 12:30 Eastern on FS1. Hosmer walked and scored his last time up. Showed off his great base running instincts on that single to center field by Melky Cabrera.
We talked about Hosmer's ability to hit the ball the other way. Look at Tommy Pham in left field, playing him like a right-handed pole hitter. You will not see a left fielder stationed there for a left-handed hitter like that, unless possibly it's a pitcher in the National League. Tremendous power the other way. When you see the hits by direction, you can see how much he favors the left side. But that's not just dunking the ball in the other way. That's with power. And that's why I say that you really need to pitch him hard in. He's not comfortable pulling the ball, make a hitter do what he's not comfortable doing.
Two balls and no strikes here to Hosmer. This I-70 series moves to Busch Stadium tomorrow. Trevor Cahill against Mike Leake, and then Thursday it's Jason Hamill against Lance Lynn. Fouled back, 2-1. Wacha up to 82 pitches. Here with 2 outs in the 5th and a 4-run lead. Left it up in the zone, now 3-1. So let's see if we see one of those big cuts by Hosmer right now.
Let's see if Wacha's got any more 97s or 98s left in the tank. We really have not seen those this inning. Back to off speed.
Good pitch on 3-1 by Wacha. So 3-2 with 2 outs, and Whit Merrifield will take off as Carpenter plays behind him at first base. There goes Merrifield, and he'll have to come back and do it again.
If you watch the Royals take BP, there's probably nobody who hits more balls in the fountains than Eric Hosmer, especially to dead center field, the gaps, left center, right center. Tremendous power.
Took the big hack, and he missed at 97. So Wacha strikes out the side here in the 5th. We're through 5, and it's 7-3 St. Louis. His home games are played at Busch Stadium, but he loves hitting here at Kauffman Stadium. 451, 4 home runs, and he has yet to be retired tonight. And he takes the first pitch outside for ball 1.
How about that? That's the highest batting average in this ballpark by anybody who's batted here at least 50 times.
He's got a single, a walk, a hit by a pitch, and a run scored. He's ahead in the count, 2-0. He likes batting leadoff.
Most walks of any leadoff hitter. Very difficult to get him to chase outside of the zone.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Mike Minor came in relief of Jason Vargas with 2 outs in the 5th and gave up that 3-run home run to Jed Jerko with 2 strikes. And what I would say is the turning point of the game. Foul tipped into the mitt of Butera. So Carpenter is retired. Grit the Moment, sponsored by Falcon Tires, the official tire of Major League Baseball. Yadier Molina, Randall Grichuk, and Jed Jerko. All go big fly here at Kauffman Stadium. A 7-3 lead for the Cardinals. Pham had that swinging bunt single his last time up in the 5th inning. As the Cardinals batted around in the inning, 6 runs on 6 hits. Three balls and no strikes. You know, we came on the air tonight talking about surprises. These 2 teams, where they were earlier this year. The fact of the matter is, a surprise is how the Cubs have played this year, how the Indians have played this year. Many people thought those 2 teams would run away with their respective divisions. And because they haven't played the way that everyone thought they were capable of playing, they've allowed these teams to stay in it. And credit both the Cardinals and the Royals for battling and keeping themselves in it.
And I agree with you. The way Kansas City especially looked like they got buried early, 10 games under 500. But when you have a team that's won before, a core of the team that's been together for a long time, this is not a young team just coming together and coalescing and trying to establish a culture. It's a very set culture here. That's why there was no panic here.
Paul DeJong takes the first pitch up high for ball 1. After the walk to Tommy Pham.
And it's funny, I was talking to David Bell, the infield coach here, bench coach, talking about DeJong. Going to spring training, they thought, well, he can play second, he can play third, maybe a little bit of short. He's become a really good shortstop. David Bell likes all of his actions over there and actually compared him to Zach Cozart. Wow. He was a premium defender who worked hard to make himself, went from good to premium by the hard work. And that's the kind of ethic DeJong has. And his actions at shortstop tell you he can stay there. He doesn't have to move off a shortstop.
Butera will go out to speak to Minor. 2 balls and no strikes. As we continue that talk of the surprises, how about the fact that 2-3 in the order for the Cardinals are Tommy Pham and Paul DeJong?
Yeah, 2 guys didn't make the team in spring training, right? Tommy Pham is a great story. At the age of 29, really making a foothold in the big leagues for the first time. A degenerative eye condition has really held him back for years.
3 balls and no strikes.
Go ahead and turn the young kid loose here. With his kind of power, sit on fastball middle in.
With Minor having some command issues, Neftali Feliz starting to throw in the pen for the Royals.
Yeah, these are called from the bench just to buy more time to get the reliever ready.
So would this be a rule in your rule changes?
And I don't think you can enforce it. But DeJong, the 16 home runs, 14 come on pitches middle in.
So is he a younger version of Todd Frazier?
actually think he's a younger version of Randall Grichuk because, you know, physically they don't look imposing, but there's thunder in the bat, especially to the pull side. And like Grichuk, he'll have to work on plate discipline.
Popped up. Long run. In trouble. That's going to drop in. Bonifacio was nowhere near there. Merrifield was making the effort, and he was looking for some help. Instead, it's a bloop single for Paul DeJong. First and second, one out. And here comes Dave Eiland.
And watch Bonifacio. He's playing because he's a pull hitter, more towards right center. He's got a long way to go. Watch Merrifield. He's going to look a second time. I'm not sure why. Just keep going. You know, as an infielder, you also have to know where your outfielders are playing. You have a pull hitter up there. He's going to be shading right center. It's a very long run for Bonifacio.
It's a long run for both guys. So now it'll bring up Jose Martinez, the only player in the Cardinals batting order without a hit tonight. And he was looking for a 3-run home run right there.
It's like watching somebody dance up there. The feet keep moving, they keep moving, they keep moving, and that is a violent swing.
Ground ball to third. Cuthbert to second. Over to first, and a 5-4-3 inning-ending double play. We head to the bottom half of the sixth here in Kansas City. 7-3 St. Louis. Of the sixth here in Kansas City. The Cardinals trying to make it 4 straight and 2 in a row here against their I-70 rivals. Melky Cabrera to lead things off against Michael Wacha. Wacha right now just hoping to get through 6 innings. He's got himself a 4-run lead. Cabrera single, stole a base, and scored his last time up. He takes the first pitch for a strike. In the bullpen, warming up is Matt Bowman for the Cardinals, just in case Wacha gets into trouble. His first 2 pitches look good.
Yeah, listen, I think it's a big inning for Wacha, not because of the score situation, but because, first of all, I love the pitch to end last inning, 97 to Hosmer. And you want to walk off this mound tonight if you're walking with a positive vibe, right? We talk a lot about facing lineups the third time around. We talked to Mike Matheny about that tonight. It's almost become an artificial finish line for starting pitchers. So he knows he's approaching that here in the 6th inning. Finish strong.
Melky just serves that one into left field for a leadoff single. Time for a game break. Let's go back to LA and check in with Kevin Burkhardt. Wow. How about Kluber?
Listen, I can tell you about Corey Kluber.
Moustakas first pitch, skies one to center. One away.
Always have to wait on first pitches to Moose. But Kluber, to me, there's no pitcher in baseball who combines command, velocity, and spin like Corey Kluber. His ability to spin the baseball at high speeds and command it, just exceptional.
First pitch is outside to Jorge Bonifacio. Corey Kluber is one of those guys who, we talk about hitters who changed and made themselves into all-stars or whatnot. How about Kluber? Bonifacio in the air to left. Pham makes the catch, 2 away.
Yeah, he was just a guy in the Padres system, got traded to Cleveland, was in the minor leagues, and might have been Double-A with a 5 or 6 ERA. And he had a bullpen session in which the pitching coach said, hey, listen, you're at the point you got to try something. Let's try a 2-seam fastball. I've been a 4-seam curveball pitcher. Well, the 2-seam just fits him so perfectly. Once heard a great comparison. I'm sure you'll get a kick out of this, Justin, being the golfer that you are. He's like Bubba Watson. You know, Bubba Watson off the tee, if you ask him to hit a drive straight, forget it. But the way he can bend and shape it, he can control it by bending and shaping it. That's Corey Kluber. He didn't have a feel for a 4-seam fastball to command a straight fastball. Let's make the ball move, and we can command it better.
Cheslor Cuthbert has had himself a nice ball game. 2 for 2. A single, had that three-run double back in the 4th inning. Slow ground ball to third base. Jerko charging on the run, makes the play, and that'll do it here in the 6th. The Waka gets through 6, and the Cardinals lead 7-3. A new pitcher to the ball game for the Royals. It is Neftali Feliz, somebody who Cardinals fans are very familiar with. Neftali Feliz, the third pitcher on the night for Kansas City.
High velocity fastball, slider. Command can be an issue sometimes, especially walks getting in the way. Of course, you speak of that great 2011 Game 6 World Series. How about Feliz and David Freese reuniting as teammates in Pittsburgh?
I actually was looking down here at the ballpark, just down below us, saw David Freese jersey. Two is outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Molina.
Yeah, you saw even with 2 strikes, Yadi gets that foot up so early and high. He's still not going to cut down and be base runners, Yadi. This is bases empty, Yadi.
Ground ball to short, backhand by Escobar. 1 away. Well, Tom, it's been a tough week for baseball already, as Major League Baseball lost a couple of fan favorites. Don Baylor passed away yesterday. Darren Daulton passed away on Sunday. And you look at just some of the career highlights of these guys. Don Baylor, the American League MVP in 1979, won a World Series championship with the Twins in '87. Darren Daulton, 3-time All-Star, won a World Series championship with the Marlins, was part of the great Philly teams of the early 90s, the guy they called Dutch. But you know, for me growing up, I remember Don Baylor as that big, intimidating guy, wear the batting helmet with no ear flaps, who would get hit by seemingly every pitch and just walk to first base. And you hear stories about him, how nice of a guy he was, and it's so sad.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to know Don covered him with the Yankees in the mid '80s, and you're right. I never saw him rub after getting hit by a pitch, even from Nolan Ryan. But you know, all the accolades about his playing career, and actually both of them, just great men gone too soon. I mean, really, I was talking to Dexter Fowler about Don Baylor. That was his first manager in Colorado. Don, of course, was the manager for the inaugural season of the Rockies, and Dexter Fowler said, to this day, best manager, best man I've had as a manager throughout my career. I said, why is that? He just said he pushed you, he challenged you, but at the same time he was very fair. He said, my first spring training I go to Colorado after hitting .340 as a switch hitter using a split grip like Ty Cobb back in the dead ball era. This is Dexter Fowler telling Don Baylor. He walks into the cage and Don Baylor says to him, son, lose that grip. You can't hit like that. Fowler's like, I just hit .340. But of course it was Don Baylor, that imposing figure, had just this presence about him. You didn't dare challenge him or question him. And there are a lot of heavy hearts around the baseball world for both Don Baylor and Darren Daulton.
Up and in. Heavy hearts here in Kansas City. Mike Swanson, the great PR director for the Kansas City Royals. He was the PR director for the Rockies with Don Baylor when he was the manager there, and he's going to be attending the funeral Saturday in Austin, Texas. But thoughts and prayers to the family of Don Baylor and Darren Daulton. A lot of people thinking about those two guys around baseball this week.
Certainly two of the great leaders of their generation. When you talk about clubhouse influences, all the quotes from the many players each played with, to a man brought up the leadership qualities, Don Baylor and Darren Daulton.
Outside to Jerko, 3 balls and 2 strikes. It was Jerko's 3-run home run his last time up. That really busted the game open. I mentioned it seemed like every time Don Baylor came up, he got hit by a pitch. 267 times he was hit by a pitch in his career.
Did not give an inch.
And Jerko works the walk. That's 4th all time being hit by a pitch. 2-out walk to Jed Jerko brings up Colton Wong, who had an infield single his last time up. 7-3 here, top of the 7th inning. Cardinals lead the Royals. And that, speaking of hit by pitches, just gets Colton Wong. So it's first and second with 2 outs.
Well, this is what you get with Neftali Feliz. Slider, first pitch, just trying to get it over for a strike and just pulls it. Hits the dirt first. And then the front foot of Colton Wong.
See, those are the type of hit by pitches you want to take.
Yes.
The ones by Nolan Ryan, you do not want to take.
No. In fact, that's why Mike Moustakas not in the lineup, playing third base tonight, playing DH rather than third, because he got hit by a pitch from Bruce Rondon that must have been almost 100 miles an hour on the thigh.
Randall Grichuk takes the pitch high and outside for ball 1. Neftali Feliz, I mentioned, you know, how Cardinal fans were familiar. You brought up the 2011 World Series, and obviously that's what we were referring to, but he's never been the same since.
And you're getting a little Cliff Notes version of why, Justin. You know, you love the 97, but when I talked about the command being an issue, you're seeing it right here, this sequence here. Walk, hit by pitch, fall behind 2-0 to a really good fastball hitter. There's no reason to do that little Johnny Cueto move there. You know, that last pitch, you're struggling to find the strike zone. The runners are not going anywhere right here. You've got 2 outs. You need to bear down and throw a strike. And he's going to feint to second base to Jed Jerko. You got to concentrate on the strike zone right here.
.30 97 for a strike, 3-1.
This is 2 pitches ago. Yeah, trying to fool the hitter or the runner. That's what you need to do. One more just like that. Maybe elevated a little higher against Grichuk. He prefers the fastballs down.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners on first and second. Wong at first, Jerko at second. Wong was hit by a pitch. Jerko walked, all with 2 outs here. There they go, the 3-2 to right field. Coming in, Bonifacio fields it on a hop. Here comes Jerko. The throw home is up the line. Feliz gets a piece of it. That's going to allow Wong to score. Two runs come in, 9-3, Cardinals lead. Neftali Feliz, as opposed to backing up the throw home, he was the one who tried to cut it off, and that allowed the ball to get by the catcher, Butera.
And once again, Grichuk much better on velocity down. That's what he got. Not a strong throw by Bonifacio, who does not have a great arm. And that's just a brain cramp by Feliz.
It's going to be a single, E9, 1 RBI for Randall Grichuk. Matt Carpenter takes the first pitch for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes. The fans are cheering because half of the Jumbotron has come back on here at Kauffman Stadium. It went down after the Jet Jerko home run. Hey, it's all back now.
Tolly Feliz is probably thinking, what is going on? What am I missing here?
They just like seeing Matt Carpenter's face up there with the stats. One-two, ripped into right field. That will score another run. Here comes Grichuk. Carpenter headed for second. And he will be in there with an RBI double. It's now 10-3 St. Louis. And the offensive explosion continues here for the Cardinals.
The hits keep coming. Think about how this rally began. 2 outs, bases empty. Feliz loses the zone. Walk, hit by pitch. Single to Grichuk on a misplaced fastball. Double to Carpenter on a misplaced off-speed pitch. Changeup.
Tommy Pham takes the first pitch outside.
Who knew scoreboards could be so exciting?
You know what?
This one can.
It really can. It's nice to look out and see.
Do you know how many square feet that scoreboard is? I'm sure
you have the
wondered
numbers
about it. 8,700. 8,739 if you want to be exact. And I had to
Who
look
are
this up.
you?
Billy Joel had a house in Palm Beach that was 8,700 square feet. So that piece of property in Palm Beach goes for 29 mil.
Good thing we're in Kansas City.
A little bit less in Kansas City.
I mean, I don't know. If you're talking about, you know, views.
It's true. Free baseball.
That has a view of the ballpark. And Billy Joel probably had a view of the beach. I don't know. Two balls and 2 strikes. The count to Pham here in the 7th. 10-3. Cardinals leading the Royals after winning last night 11-3. And Pham will strike out to end the inning. But 3 more runs in the inning, and it's 10-3 stretch time here in KC. Milwaukee's night is done. And Tom, he was pretty good tonight.
He was really good. The stuff was electric, especially the fastball. I mean, that's what you really like to see. Arm speed, arm strength is all there. Now, this is going on 9 straight starts now where he's been really strong for St. Louis.
A look at the game summary brought to you by Budweiser. The Cardinals, 6 runs on 6 hits in that 5th inning. Waka, 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs. Chesler Cuthbert just back from AAA. A double, 3 RBIs. Vargas, though, could not get through 5. A story for the Royals. And now it's Sun Hwan Oh in for the Cardinals to face Alcides Escobar. The numbers on O: 1-5, a 3.49 ERA, 49 innings, 12 walks, 48 strikeouts. And he's behind the count, 2 balls and no strikes. There's a strike, 2-1.
You don't often see relief pitchers come into a game these days and pitch from a full windup, but O does because it's part of his deception to a hitter. I'll give you different looks, and he hides the ball very well. That fastball gets on you. And his favorite combo platter is the slider coming behind the fastball. Try to pick up the baseball. He keeps it behind his back, and he's got the quick arm action. And that 93 gets on you.
Escobar looking for his first hit of the night. Stays alive, 2-2. The Royals, they got back in this race by winning 9 in a row. But since that 9-game winning streak, 3-7.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that's a comeback team. There's that slider I'm talking about. It's deceptive, but got as many comeback wins as any team in baseball with 33, the Royals do. The offense has been a little bit flat in that 10-game stretch you're talking about.
Ed Yo says no panic, though. Last 2 months, here's what it's been like. It's like a roller coaster. Up and down, up and down. In the air, right center. Fowler coming over. Steps in front of Grichuk to make the catch for the first out.
Well, center fielder's got priority, and Dexter's going to run a long way. Hey, he's been on the DL for a couple of weeks, man. He wants as many chances here as he can get. He's fresh.
Drew Butera, 1 for 2, a single and a strikeout. Pop foul coming back our way. Really close to us, actually. Just the booth next door to our left. Maybe had our statistician Ed Svita reached out, he could have made a play, but no, wasn't even going to make an effort.
Smart man.
Butera strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. 2 away. Whit Merrifield singled his last time up.
There's a great story about his dad, Bill. Came as close to being a major leaguer without being one of anybody I've ever heard of. He came up in the Angels organization. His dad did. Bill, he actually played for Joe Madden at Midland. one day late in August in the 90s, got traded to the Pirates for Johnny Ray. Now, Bill had been a 5-year minor leaguer. They fly him to Pittsburgh. He's going to play in the major leagues. He gets to Pittsburgh. The equipment manager says, "You're playing first base tonight." He goes through batting practice. It rains 45 minutes. At the end of the rain delay, the equipment manager says, "Jim Leyland wants to see you," the Pirates manager. He walks into the manager's office and Leyland tells him, "You're going to instructional league." What? He went from starting and making his major league debut to going to the instructional league. The next year, he wound up in the Texas Rangers organization at 26 and having his first child. He quit baseball.
Wow.
Never got to the big leagues. .270 minor league career hitter.
And now his son lines out to shortstop Paul DeJong. And that'll do it here in the 7th. We head to the 8th, 10-3 Cardinals. Falcon Tires, the official tire of Major League Baseball. We roll into the 8th inning here in Kansas City, 10-3. Cardinals lead the Royals. A couple of changes here for Kansas City. A new pitcher on the hill. It is Brandon Maurer. 1-4, 5.80 ERA. 45 innings, 44 strikeouts. He faces Paul DeJong. New center fielder Alex Gordon takes over for Lorenzo Cain. DeJong, 2 for 4, a couple of singles, and now lofts one to right field. Bonifacio retreats, 1 away. Let's talk a little bit about the new center fielder Alex Gordon. He's been slumping mightily, not just for this year, but last year as well. This year he's at 197 for the season, 5 home runs, 34 RBIs. And when the Royals acquired Melky Cabrera, there was the big question of who was going to sit. Was it going to be Alex Gordon, a fan favorite? Was it going to be Bonifacio? Someone was going to have to sit. And all of a sudden, tonight, Ned Yost decided Gordon needed a couple days of rest. Well, now he gets him in the game in center field. What's your take on the situation?
Yeah, well, a tough year has gotten tougher lately. 1 hit in the last 17 at bats in the last 5 games. It's really interesting to me because Alex Gordon has not lost any of his bat speed. You know, when I look at the numbers, I see he is still hitting high velocity. That's not the issue. He's getting out on off-speed pitches. And I think what's happening, Alex has always been a guy who likes to hit the ball out in front of him, a real pull hitter. And he's getting beat by off-speed by getting too far out front, grounding out to the right side very often. And I think now it's become physical. It began mental, trying to work his way out of this slump. And we'll watch him hit next inning. You'll see him get much more restricted at the plate, more spread out in his stance, not as athletic as he has been over the years.
Martinez to right, and Jose Martinez now has a hit, which means everybody in the Cardinals lineup has a hit tonight.
Welcome to the party, Jose.
Get the glow sticks out.
But I think the good news for the Royals is that Alex Gordon is healthy. He still has the same bat speed. You watch his BP, it looks exactly the same. This is a case of a guy slumping where the mental side of it manifests itself physically in him being more defensive and restrictive at the plate.
Carson Kelly gonna pinch hit here for Yadier Molina. Carson Kelly has played in 8 games, 2 for 16 so far this year. Give Yadier Molina a couple of innings off, get him off of his feet. But it's certainly a dilemma for the Royals, because down the stretch, when you're fighting for the playoff spot, what do? You got to play the hot hand, right? Kelly in the air to left center field. Melky Cabrera calls off Gordon. Says, I got it, and he does. 2 away.
But because Gordon still is a premier defender and does have some cachet, a lot of cachet in that clubhouse, you don't get off him entirely. I think you do what Ned Yost is doing right here. You give him some quote-unquote mental days off. You know, he has to realize right now you're not going to rescue this season in terms of your personal numbers. And once he clears, and it's a big one, that mental hurdle, I think you'll see him bounce back.
Good block by Butera. 1 ball, no strikes to Dexter Fowler. Fowler 2 for 4. A couple of doubles, a run scored, a fly out to left, and a strikeout. And now a foul ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. It's so weird to think, and we talked about this, but you think around Major League Baseball, 2 of the signings for smaller market teams that you thought were great for the game, Joe Mauer in Minnesota, Alex Gordon here in Kansas City, have turned out to be signings that, I'm not going to say have crippled the teams, but are moves that if they had to do them over again, probably would not do so. And it was what you want. You want those teams to be able to keep their homegrown talent.
Yeah, I do think there's enhanced value for those type of players, the Gordons, the Mauers. Kansas City will go through that this offseason with a few of them, right? With Escobar and Hosmer. So I think a lot of decisions, I don't want to say they're emotional, but you do have a greater investment in the players that you raise to be major league players. Harder to walk away from those guys.
Especially those guys who help lead you to a championship. You know, you talk about emotion. Think about what the Cardinals did as we take a look at Dayton Moore. The Cardinals didn't sign Albert Pujols. They gave him that 1 big contract, but they didn't give him that 2nd big contract. They let him go so they could sign Yadier Molina, so they could sign Adam Wainwright. Foul ball. We'll do it again at 3-2.
Yeah, they had a price where they were willing to go to with Albert, and he got much better in Anaheim. And with Gordon, I think some people were surprised that the market came back to the Royals that allowed them to keep their outfielder.
Jose Martinez will get a running start at first. As the pitch misses low and inside, a 2-out walk to Dexter Fowler.
Cardinals just continue to have one good at bat after another, huh? These last 3 games, running up 34 runs. There is a lot of confidence growing in that team right now, up and down the lineup.
In the dirt to Jerko, 1-0. This was the big swing in the game in that 5th inning. 2 strikes, and he just tattooed that ball.
You call it before that at bat. Such a big sequence. Keep the game at 1 or break it open. And he broke it open.
2-0 the count to Jerko. How about that? Wow. Tying a franchise modern record. A modern era record with 10+ runs in 3 straight games. That's got to make John Mabry and Bill Miller, the hitting coaches, quite happy. Sunday at Cincinnati, 13 runs on 16 hits. Last night, 11 runs on 10 hits. Tonight, so far, 10 runs on 14 hits.
Boy, that is impressive for any organization, but especially one with this pedigree.
Down low, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So another full count, and that will give the runners a head start. And it's outside again. Back-to-back full count walks by Mauer to Fowler and Jerko, and the bases are loaded here in the 8th.
Just another quality at bat. I was so impressed with Jerko taking that 2-2 slider. Wasn't off the plate by very much.
I've got 7 walks issued by the Royals pitching staff in this game, and 2 hit batters.
3 base runners, many of whom have scored or led to rallies.
A couple of wild pitches on top of all that. Long out in front of that off-speed pitch. 0-2. Martinez at third, Fowler at second, and Jerko at first. All those free base runners and 14 hits. And that's added up to 10 runs. And 26 pitches in the inning for Brandon Mauer. And Wong just stays alive. Missing outside. 1-2.
Well, you can almost see the confidence in their faces, huh?
Hey, how about that? A police officer got the foul ball, and he gives it away. Thank you for your service.
Absolutely. And your defensive abilities.
And he gets Wong swinging to end the inning with the bases loaded. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th, 10-3 St. Louis. 7th inning, 10-3. Cardinals leading the Royals. Zach Duke, the new pitcher on the hill. A 5.4 ERA in 5 games, 3 1/3 innings. 2 walks and 1 strikeout. He'll face Alex Gordon, his first at-bat, and he starts him off with a breaking ball. A new catcher, it's Carson Kelly. He came in to pinch hit for Yadier Molina. A new first baseman, Luke Voigt. Matt Carpenter gets the rest of the night off. And Gordon fouls the pitch back. He's behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. We mentioned his numbers, 197, 5 home runs, 34 RBIs on the year. The on-base percentage at 286.
That happens when you're going bad. You see a lefty and you're behind 0-2 before you blink. I talked about Alex's stance and spread out a little bit more, a little more bend in the knees. In his best days, more athletic, a little more upright. Bat speed, not a problem. See where the problems are coming from. With Duke, you're not going to see mid-90s.
The breaking ball, 2-2. And you know everybody is rooting for him. I mean, they just want to see him get something positive going. And that hits him. No, wait a minute. Yes, it did. A hit by pitch.
Well, he certainly held his ground against the slingshot lefty. Look, he's not giving an inch right there. Actually hits the back arm. Yeah, I think he's got a run coming for him before this year is out. He's healthy. He's in great shape, Alex Gordon. Work ethic, not a concern.
Another lefty, and Eric Hosmer now at the plate. And Hosmer takes the first pitch fastball, first strike. Hosmer looking for his first hit. Did walk and score a run back in the 4th. Has also struck out and grounded out.
I think Gordon should take second base. They're not holding him on. I know it's a 7-run game. But if they're not going to defend it, they're giving you the base, take the base.
Up and in, 2-1. Two balls and 2 strikes here to Hosmer. Again, tomorrow night, these two teams will be in St. Louis. Trevor Cahill against Mike Leake. Then Thursday, Jason Hamill against Lance Lynn. The Cardinals trying to make it 4 in a row. Trying to move a game above 500 for the first time since June 1st. Hosmer just serves one out to center. Fowler's right there. 1 away. Saturday, Aaron Judge looks to continue his incredible rookie season as he leads the Yankee attack against Mookie Betts and the Red Sox. Major League Baseball, Saturday at 3:30 Eastern, right here on FS1. It's crazy how things have changed. You're promoting a Yankee Red Sox game, and it's Aaron Judge and Mookie Betts.
Might have Chris Sale going in that game as well.
He went 8 innings tonight, 13 strikeouts. It's like an average night for him.
So I guess he's going Sunday. He went tonight. Yeah, what a strikeout machine. A chance to get well over 300.
Cabrera, Looper. Back on the outfield grass is Wong, 2 away. Eduardo Nunez
Torres, what a pickup he's been for Boston. Another 3 hits tonight.
A jolt of energy, especially with Pedroia with that knee injury. Nunez is playing a very big role for Boston.
Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike to Moustakas. I enjoyed talking to him yesterday about his whole hitting approach and how he talked about that first pitch selection. And it wasn't looking for a pitch, but looking for an area. Gets into one to center field. Fowler going back, has room by the warning track, makes the catch. And this game moves to the 9th with the Cardinals leading the Royals 10-3. Nice night, couple of runs scored, had that home run leading off the 6-run 5th inning. And he's looking for his 3rd hit of the night. A new first baseman in for the Royals. Brandon Moss takes over for Eric Hosmer. And a new pitcher, Joakim Soria, in to pitch this 9th inning for the Royals. Seems like a lifetime ago he was the Royals all-star closer. And he starts Randall Grichuk off with a strike.
Not exactly a high leverage spot right here. 10-3 in the 9th.
Ground ball, 3rd base, Cuthbert. 1 away.
Justin, I'm going to give you an amazing stat.
Is it the scoreboard again?
No. We're moving on from real estate. Grichuk with the, he's got 2 RBIs tonight, right? Of course, with American League rules, you have the DH, so he's in the 9th spot. Normally, you're going to have a pitcher in that 9th spot. Number 9 hitters for the Cardinals this year have more RBIs than their number 3 hitters.
Wow.
Think about that. National League team get more production out of the 9th spot than the 3 spot. That's how much of a problem the 3 spot has been for St. Louis this year, until Paul DeJong looks like he is taking that job and running with it.
Luke Voigt, his first at bat. How's that for your first at bat? 68-mile-per-hour breaking ball, and you're behind in the count 0-2.
He's looking for a heater in a 10-3 game.
In the dirt, 1-2.
Well, I mean, if you look up and down the lineup, for really both teams, the RBI totals just aren't there. And Voit goes down swinging, which leads us to a game break. Let's go back to LA and check in with Kevin Burkhardt. So a little tease about what's coming up on the whip around. Tommy Pham swing and a miss, 0-1. Who has more energy, Dontrelle or Swish?
I don't know. That's a lot for KB to handle in there.
1 ball and 1 strike here to Pham. Pham has reached base twice, an infield single back in the 5th, a walk in the 6th, also a run scored. 10-3, Cardinals leading here, top of the 9th inning. Pham to left, off the end of the bat. Melky is there, and it's a 1-2-3 inning worked by Soria. We go to the bottom half of the 9th. Last ups for the Royals, trailing by 7. The 9th inning for the Cardinals. 25 games, a 2.17 ERA. 29 innings, 4 walks, 22 strikeouts. Opponents hitting just 179 against him. He's got a comfortable 7-run lead as he'll face Jorge Bonifacio, Chesler Cuthbert, and Alcides Escobar, as the Cardinals are trying to make it 4 in a row and trying to move above 500 for the first time since they were 26-25. With a win here tonight, they'd be 57-56.
Historically hot St. Louis Cardinals, right? Double digits, 3 games in a row. Stan the Man's Cardinals never did it. Albert Pujols' Cardinals never did it.
3 straight games of 10+ runs. 1 ball and 1 strike to Bonifacio.
I think if you're Trevor Cahill, starter for Kansas City tomorrow, watching these last couple of games, look for clues how to get somebody out. You haven't found many the last 2 nights.
This game was scoreless through 3. The Cardinals got a run in the 4th thanks to that leadoff home run by Yadier Molina. Now straight back. 1-2.
And the Royals responded with 3 runs in the bottom half of the inning on a 3-run double by Cheslor Cuthbert. But then it was the 6-run 5th, the big-time answer by the Cardinals, that blew this game open. And they scored 3 more in the 7th. Bonifacio lifts one to left field. Tommy Pham is there for the first out. The producer of tonight's game is Kevin Cedergren. The director is Tom Mee. Our stats up here in the booth by Ed Svita. Thanks to our entire crew in the truck doing a great job here in Kansas City. This I-70 series. Great crowd on hand as well here at Kauffman Stadium. Cheslor Cuthbert singled his first time up, a 3-run double back in the 4th, as I just mentioned, and a ground out to 3rd, 2 for 3. Wasn't guessing that pitch.
This is why relief pitching is taking over baseball. Pitchers like Brebbia, mid-90s fastball and wipeout slider. You see so many sliders out of bullpens now.
Comes back 95.
Slider is the toughest pitch to hit in baseball. Pitchers hit about 213 off sliders. And you mix that in with high velocity. Wow.
$37,267 here at Kauffman Stadium tonight. Outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
I'd say it's a good night for Mike Matheny, right? Michael Wacha looked really good. You know, he left the game strong, and his last inning was as good as any inning he pitched. He gets Molina and Carpenter off the field with a big lead late in the game.
Breaking ball called, strike 3 on the inside corner, and the Royals are down to their final out.
Not sure he meant to do it, but that backup front door breaking ball, no, he's trying to go away with it. That freezes right-handed hitters about 90% of the time. You're just not used to seeing the ball in like that coming back over the plate.
Conversely, not good news for Ned Yost and the Royals, with Vargas giving up 6 runs in 4 2/3 innings. The 6 runs ties a season high, 3rd time he's done it. And you wonder, can he reverse this trend? When he got up to that great start, made his first All-Star team, Escobar chased the high fastball.
It's a great point, because you know, you just don't take this Vargas start in a vacuum. It's the last 5 of them. And how important has he been? Well, the Royals have 15 wins when he starts. And in the American League, only the Red Sox with Sale have more wins behind one pitcher. So they're used to winning when he's on the mound for them. Not lately.
Popped up. Foul territory. That should reach the seats, and it does. 2 balls and 2 strikes. St. Louis looking to make it 4 in a row and trying to go to 1 game above 500 for the first time since June 1st. Entered tonight's game 3.5 games back of the Cubs in the NL Central. The 2-2 up and in, 3-2. Home runs by Molina, Grichuk, Jerko. Carson Kelly took over for Yadier Molina. Gets him with a breaking ball. 4 in a row for the Cardinals. They move to 57 and 56. Waka improves to 9 and 4, while Vargas falls to 13 and 6.
Been a long time coming, more than 2 months, and their heads are above water now. Over 500 with tremendous confidence offensively.
For Tom Verducci and our entire crew here in Kansas City, I'm Justin Kutcher saying so long. Let's get you out to LA. KB, Dontrell, Swish for the MLB Whip Around.